Welcome back to Twisted Blade Gaming, and in this video I'm going to be telling you about what happened when I attempted to play through and beat Sonic 3 and Sonic & Knuckles at the same time. Time to lay out the rules. One Xbox controller plugged into two different emulators running each respective game simultaneously. Simply put, if I press jump, both characters will jump. If I press up, down, left, right, A or even start, both games will react accordingly. I'm going to try and get the emeralds, however it's not required for challenge completion. Note, the emulator running Sonic 3 was noticeably slow when it came to button inputs. It'd take like an extra half a second for the inputs to be shown on screen, so yeah, just in case this challenge wasn't difficult enough, there's also that. The challenge ends once I've beaten both games, and a fail occurs if we get a game over in either game. Also, to add an extra layer of interest to the challenge, I will be playing as Knuckles in Sonic & Knuckles and Sonic in Sonic 3, because, well, I mean, why not? Okay, so with all the admin out of the way, it's time to answer the question: can I play through and beat Sonic 3 and Sonic & Knuckles at the same time? Literally not even 20 seconds into the challenge we achieved the Knuckles and Knuckles meme. I mean, we're basically done, we might as well just pack up and call it a day now. But once we gain full control of both games, we move around a little to get a feel for everything, and as I said, 3 was pretty laggy input wise, but it is what it is. While I was messing around, I stumbled upon this cool little challenge technique where Knuckles stays on the wall, allowing us to move Sonic left and right alone. Now you're probably thinking, well, surely this will make things considerably easier, right?
Wrong.
While I did use this technique very often, the downside is you can only go so far without pressing jump, and more often than not, so far is not very far. Inversely, Knuckles Glide allows us to move Knuckles alone, leaving Sonic to jump in place, which proved to be very useful throughout this challenge. Having two different movesets at the same time really does add an extra wrinkle to the challenge. To start with, I focused on Knuckles, making some pretty decent progress, using mostly the spin dash and the glide. We make a quick detour and enter the first special stage of the challenge, but I messed up on the first special stage and get booted out for hitting the red sphere. Well, that could have got better. However, my chance at redemption was merely seconds away, as now it was Sonic's turn in the special stage, and for extra safety, I attached Knuckles to a wall so we could concentrate on getting the Chaos Emerald. And thankfully Sonic gets the job done. But before Sonic could even return to Angel Island Zone, Knuckles was already at the Mushroom Hill Act 1 boss. Not gonna lie, the blue spheres immediately followed by a boss fight kinda had my head spinning a little.
Wow, my head's spinning!
As soon as the boss fight had ended, Sonic immediately makes a dash through some more of Angel Island. Being careful with button inputs, we were able to keep Knuckles in a safe area at the start of Act 2, as we navigated Sonic to his first encounter with the Act 1 boss. After watching the environment get torched, Sonic locates another giant ring and successfully grabs Emerald number 2. Nice, you see, now we're on a roll, we're doing good. That first mess up was just bad luck. I'm in the flow now, things are going good, I'm getting the emeralds, it shouldn't be a problem from now on, right? As you've probably seen by the footage, this was a cool little situation where I was able to leave Sonic bouncing on the spring, being able to progress Knuckles a little as long as I didn't press left or right. But in the end, both Sonic and Knuckles ended up on springs, now leaving with no choice other than to press a directional button. Things got a little hairy towards the end of Angel Island Act 1, but once I got to the boss, it went down easily as usual. By the time Act 2 had loaded, Knuckles was ready to jump into a special zone, and finally grabs himself a Chaos Emerald. With Knuckles now on the Emerald scoreboard, Sonic wasted no time in jumping through a giant ring before Knuckles had even walked back to Mushroom Hill Zone. Jeez, 2 blue sphere stages back to back?
Wow, my head's...
Something else that made the Sonic 3 blue sphere stages difficult is that while I was playing, I had Sonic 3's music muted because as great as both these games' soundtracks are, they don't sound great over the top of one another. So to spare my ears, I muted 3, but because I couldn't hear 3, there was no way of knowing when the running speed was going to increase in the Sonic 3 blue sphere stages. So yeah, that was fun. But nonetheless, after a few nail-biting moments, Sonic attains his 3rd emerald. Unfortunately, we weren't finished with this mini blue sphere rush mode, as a few moments later, Knuckles finds another giant ring and acquires his 2nd Chaos Emerald. After Knuckles has returned to Mushroom Hill Zone, we keep him in this little hidden room and push Sonic forward through Angel Island Zone. I must say it's kind of funny when using certain environmental objects and watching what the inputs make the other character do, like these kinda tedious pulleys. Knuckles is out here trying his best and here's Sonic like headbanging. Just before we begin the Mushroom Hill Zone boss, we're given the opportunity to take Knuckles into a bonus stage, which we happily oblige. I am so glad I finally have a reason to talk about these bonus stages. Why has nobody mentioned that these stages are ridiculously easy to farm lives and rings in? And well, we want as many lives as possible because the rules are a fail occurs if we get a game over in either game. Knuckles exits the bonus stage with an additional 141 rings and 2 extra lives. Sonic was actually placed perfectly for us to take on the Mushroom Hill Zone boss, requiring only the right direction button and jump to defeat. And yeah, 8 hits later, we're free and clear to focus on Sonic 3. But before Sonic can confront Robotnik, we make another quick detour to the Special Zone in an attempt to get another Chaos Emerald. However, the input lag in Sonic 3 got the better of me this time, causing Sonic to be ejected from the stage without the Emerald.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
And hey, on the upside, the score and loading screens did allow a few moments to get Knuckles into Robotnik's airship. Every cloud has a silver lining, as the saying goes, not him. Speaking of clouds, with Knuckles in a fairly safe area at the start of Flying Battery, I decided now was a good time to focus on Sonic 3 and clear Angel Island Zone, finding that the best place for Knuckles was this area that is littered with springs, making navigating Sonic a little easier. Now, you remember what I was saying earlier about how good the special stages in Sonic and Knuckles are? Well, sadly that doesn't extend to the special stages in Sonic 3. Knowing that I could really do the fire shield for the upcoming boss fight, I jumped into the special stage hoping to get the fire shield, and just watch this BS. Thanks stage, nice one. Though, I guess the electric shield is a nice consolation prize. It is actually my favourite out of the 3 elemental shields. Look at this big brain move. Knowing that I'm going to be required to hold down the right button to get past Robotnik's bombardment of bombs, we attach Knuckles to a wall, giving us all the horizontal movements we need.
I'm brilliant, ingenious, omniscient.
Robotnik appears from behind the waterfall, but beep boop bop, he goes down nice and easy. And of course, the second the score started tallying up, we finally start making a little progress with Knuckles in Flying Battery. Oh, and insert Knuckles and Knuckles meme again. A little later, we found a seemingly safe area to keep Sonic in Hydrocity Zone. Yeah, you heard me right, Hydrocity, not Hydro City, it's Hydrocity, and I will not stand for your foolishness. Anyway, the whole point of finding a safe area was so that we could carefully direct Knuckles over the giant death pit below Flying Battery. How did it go?
Oh no.
Well, that's the first death of the challenge. Damn it. It's okay though, because this respawned Knuckles back to a clear area at the start of the level again, just in time for Sonic to enter another Blue Sphere stage. Let's just hope that we don't have to press right too much, otherwise Knuckles is going to land on that contraption and get flung into the ship before we really want him to. We got kinda close, but it wasn't too much of an issue as Sonic grabs himself the 4th Chaos Emerald. But of course, we run into trouble again as soon as we reach the platforming section outside Flying Battery Zone. Knuckles was the priority here, which sadly meant I had to kiss the bubble shield goodbye. And man, Sonic was in a less than desirable area, but then it dawned on me that as long as I don't jump, I can leave Knuckles hanging while I move Sonic to a better area. This was kind of nerve-wracking, I'm not gonna lie. We're actually able to make a little progress with Sonic until the game forced me to press the jump button to stop Sonic from drowning. There I was waiting for a bubble thinking, Knuckles will just re-grab this monkey bar after jumping, right? Right? Thankfully, yes he does. And as soon as Sonic had gulped a little bit of oxygen, I wanted to get Knuckles the hell out of this area. Turns out the Sonic gods rewarded my perseverance with a section of Flying Battery that let us move Sonic more or less for free thanks to the Flame Shield granting Knuckles fire immunity, leading us all the way to the Hydrocity Act 1 boss. And well, I did start to worry a little after losing all my rings in the fight, but we just about eked out a W.
That's a W.
Hydrocity Act 2 of course starts with the moving wall section, which had the potential to cause some problems, but it'll be fine. I've been playing these games for decades now, you know, I know what to do, so yeah, that's about right. Not to worry though, we made it through on the second attempt. Just after that section in Sonic 3 is a nice and safe area we can keep Sonic in to give us a little bit of freedom to progress Knuckles through some more of Flying Battery. Another little mini challenge here was that I could use spin dashes, but I could only release them when the platform was off screen to ensure that Sonic stayed where he was. But then this bullshit happened. Next time round we play it cautious and I get to a checkpoint just beyond where I died. Of course. Oh, and also we jumped into a bonus stage, but we were only able to grab an extra 19 rings and a bubble shield before getting caught. We carefully focus on moving Knuckles through the rest of Flying Battery Act 1 as time is very quickly running out, and before too long we reach the capsule boss, and thanks to the safe placement of Sonic, this boss was no problem whatsoever. Now, Sonic 3 was the priority as time was also quickly running out. Plus, the start of Flying Battery Act 2 acted as a perfect hazard-free area to keep Knuckles in. We get some nice speed with Sonic and even find a giant ring to try and succeed at another Blue Sphere stage, getting us our 5th Emerald. Knuckles really has some catching up to do as far as Emeralds go, huh? We were finally making some good progress through Hydrocity, but I had 1 minute remaining. Well, I mean, there's no way I'm going to get to the boss and beat it in under a minute, but at least we got past another checkpoint before we timed out, so not too much progress was lost. I actually got right to another giant ring just as the level timed out. A minute later, now armed with a very useful bubble shield, we reached Giant Ring, but it was completely wasted because in trying to reposition Knuckles, I ended up directing Sonic immediately into a red sphere. I promise I'm actually good at these games individually, really. Seeing that Knuckles was quickly running out of time again, I felt the urgency to get to another checkpoint before the inevitable happened. Fortunately, Sonic had a bubble shield, meaning that there was no real need to worry about him drowning. So, while being careful to not move Sonic too much, we use a combo of spin dashes and glides to find Knuckles a star post. Hell, we even found another giant ring. It'd be cool to get another Chaos Emerald before we time out, never mind. Now, I have a question for you. Is 29 seconds enough time to get through this laser section and activate the star post just beyond this area? Sadly, no. Now I've got to do that all over again. It's fine though, now with all the time I need, Knuckles outlasts the laser room and gives chase to the Egg Robo. We confront the Flying Battery boss and take it down pretty cleanly, but now is not the time to celebrate as we are in danger of timing out in Sonic 3. We make a mad dash for Robotnik and get there with just 1 minute remaining to beat the boss in. Fortunately, the bubble shield allows us to get in a bunch of hits without relying on the bombs that Robotnik drops. Thankfully, 8 hits later, Robotnik finally goes bye-bye and we conclude Hydrocity Zone with 41 seconds remaining. Phew, this is getting intense. Okay Knuckles, sorry for ignoring you. Where are you up to, my guy? If you're a regular to this channel, then you'll know that I will never ever complain about playing through Sandopolis Zone. I fucking love this zone. And after all this stress, being in my favourite level was like a big comforting coarse dry hug. Don't worry, I thought, you're in Sandopolis now. We put Knuckles straight to work as Sonic dropped into Marble Garden Zone. I was actually chuckling to myself here because very interestingly, a lot of the comments on my Why I Love Sandopolis video were people saying how Marble Garden was worse than Sandopolis, and now here I was playing through both zones at the same time, knowing that in the eyes of many this has got to be the worst possible combination of zones in this challenge. Personally, while I don't love it as much as Sandopolis, I'm still quite fond of Marble Garden. I know I have weird tastes, it's fine. A little ways into the levels, Knuckles stumbles upon a signpost and warps to the bonus stage with the hopes of getting a life and ring payday. We had a close brush with the giant mace in Marble Garden Zone before getting some extra rings for the extra life and briskly exiting the bonus stage. Sonic and Knuckles both make a little progress through their respective levels until we are met with one of the worst parts of Marble Garden Zone.
The Flying Saucer Platform.
How the hell am I going to move this saucer without running Knuckles into danger? Brace yourself, it's big brain mode time. The solution, of course, was to have Knuckles grip the wall, freeing up the left and right buttons to control the saucer with.
I'm brilliant, ingenious, omniscient.
With Sonic balancing on the platform, we use Knuckles' glide to get to the upper path of the greatest zone of all time. Though this upper path brought with it a predicament, as you can see, Sonic really needs to move from this moving platform, but that moving platform in Sandopolis looks like it was put there to crush you, not to mention the sandblock badnik to the left. Look how carefully I'm having to balance moving Sonic forward while keeping Knuckles out of danger. To be fair, we were slowly making some progress until... Are you kidding me? A saucer requiring me to hold right to move, guaranteeing that Knuckles will get crushed? Okay, well, let's see what happens when we try to use this saucer. Nice! I was basking in my glory when it happened. Oh, it doesn't crush you. So I did all that extra for nothing. As much as I was enjoying the puzzle-like nature the challenge had taken, it caused the neglect of the timer, and somehow I now had less than a minute to finish not just one but both levels. Oh crap, I really do.
Gotta go fast. Gotta go fast.
My thinking was Sonic was nearer to the end of his stage than Knuckles, so I should put my focus there and leave Knuckles to time out. With 50 seconds remaining, Sonic enters the boss room and 20 seconds later uses the awesome and very broken Insta-Shield to bring a tense close to Marble Garden Act 1. Man, this challenge is relentless so far. A little into Marble Garden Act 2, we get some nice symmetry with both characters on a pulley. After a brief encounter with Robotnik in Marble Garden, Knuckles takes his exclusive route through Sandopolis. I wonder if this sand lets you sink to the bottom
Oh no.
Never mind. A few moments later, Sonic stumbled upon another one of those damn saucers, but lucky for us, Knuckles was in a pretty innocuous place, so using one wasn't as nerve-wracking this time. Okay, let's go. I'm feeling alright about this run, it's looking healthy. While it's annoying having to start again in Marble Garden Zone, it wasn't all that bad because the starting area is hazard free, so as long as we don't spin dash through the wall, we can focus on getting Knuckles through Sandopolis. But it seems that this challenge has a problem for every solution, as the only way to kill this badnik is by spin dashing, and there was no time to really weigh up the options because this little fucker pushes you into the spikes. I know what must be done. The badnik was defeated, but at what cost? At what cost? Yeah, I think this challenge is breaking me. As a consolation prize, Knuckles happens to stumble across and jump through another star post, which yielded a couple more lives to add to the counter. Within seconds of re-entering Sandopolis Zone, we finally reached the Pyramid Guardian boss, which was pretty easy to take care of. As soon as Knuckles struck his signature pose, we tried to move Sonic 3 through Marble Garden Zone again. But I couldn't help but shake this sinking feeling, and then it hit me. Uh-oh. Ghosts. Yeah, this is gonna be rough. The light switches actually provided another use in this challenge other than getting rid of the ghosts. It served as a nice way of being able to move Sonic horizontally while Knuckles literally just hung out. Though, of course, this was only helpful until Sonic reached an area where he would be required to jump, which would cause Knuckles to jump off the switch, but I'll take any respite or proverbial bone this challenge wants to throw at me at this point. The ghost added an extra pressure because now I had to be super strategic on where I kept Knuckles when focusing on Sonic 3. Basically, the only safe places I could keep Knuckles were places that had the ghost switch close by so I could get rid of them when they turned nasty. Fortunately, I found such a place for Knuckles, meaning I was able to progress Sonic through the rest of Marble Garden Act 2 fairly comfortably, reaching the final star post with just over 1 minute remaining. There was no way I was going to be able to get to the boss and defeat it before Sonic times out. Was I that much of a Sonic master to pull off this seemingly impossible feat? Well, actually, no, I wasn't. But all was not lost. Sonic of course respawned at the last checkpoint, now with a fresh timer, so it was time to get Knuckles a little deeper into this haunted pyramid. Plus, Knuckles himself now only had 2 minutes before another timeout, so it was a race through Sandopolis. We dodged spikes, rising sands, ghosts, platforms, you name it, we overcome it. My goal was to get to the final star post before the Sandopolis boss, and man, we played pretty darn well with optimized movement. We were so close to that star post I could smell it. However,
Oh no.
I tried so hard and I got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
It starts with
With the Sonic 3 boss still looming, I decided to give it another go now that Knuckles' time was reset. By the time we reached Robotnik again, Knuckles had wandered into a less than ideal area, but it was too late, the boss fight was already underway. However, the presence of the ghosts in Sandopolis proved to be too much of a distraction as Sonic loses another life. Not good. Every death is one step closer to failing this challenge. With Sonic back at the star post, we divert our attention back to Knuckles and finally make it to the Sandopolis boss fight. Can I just say, what the hell is up with the hitboxes on this boss? How did I take damage here? And here? And here? Nonetheless, our persistence was rewarded as we mercifully defeated Egg Robo and put an unofficial end to Sandopolis, because we actually ignore the animal critters trapped in the capsule so we can focus on Sonic and begin round 3 with the Marble Garden Zone boss. Now that I had the freedom to focus properly, Robotnik went down easy, and we somehow completed probably the 2 most difficult levels in both games within seconds of each other. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, that was tough. But we did it. Gonna be honest, I don't know how we survived that. A sense of relief rushed over me, but we weren't out of the woods yet as we close in on Lava Reef and Carnival Night Zone. A few minutes into each zone, we find this nice little area in Carnival Night that suspends Sonic in the air. While Sonic is floating, he is unable to jump, which proved to be very useful as we take advantage of Knuckles' glide to make decent progress through Lava Reef without moving Sonic too much. This proved to be an effective strategy as Knuckles arrives at the Lava Reef Act 1 boss fight without much incident. We take care of the ball arm thingies and high-five the giant hand with Knuckles' head until that too was defeated. So now Knuckles was technically on the final full level of this challenge. Sonic, however, still had the majority of Carnival Night, all of Ice Cap and all of Launch Base left. So I figured I would keep Knuckles in the beginning of Lava Reef Act 2 while we tried to get Sonic to catch up. A little bit into Carnival Night, we locate a hidden giant ring and get another chance at redemption, which we take full advantage of and acquired the blue Chaos Emerald that had evaded us. By the way, how can you have a blue emerald? Emeralds are by definition green, so how, you know what, never mind. After returning to Carnival Night Zone, we make some decent progress before I realise, oh man, 1 minute remaining again? Damn, the timer really has played a big part in this challenge. You know the drill by now, get to a star post before the time runs out, but not before we enter another Blue Sphere stage, and fail. On the upside, we sail past the final star post in Carnival Night Act 1 with 8 seconds to spare. With a fresh timer, we blast into the Carnival Night boss and beat it with only 30 seconds on the timer, which was actually pretty funny to me. Speaking of 30 seconds, we get not even 30 seconds into Act 2 before a cheap crush death with these evil satanic barrels. Oh, and I got a weird glitch with Knuckles where the floor just suddenly became lava again, but we only had 50 seconds to enjoy it because, you guessed it, Knuckles was about to time out again. Usually, while a timeout is not a big deal and actually has proven to be quite advantageous in a few ways, this occasion was not one of them, because when Knuckles respawns in Lava Reef, he does so beyond the starting area and into the actual zone. Well, so much for keeping Knuckles there indefinitely, so I am left with no choice but to start progressing both games properly, which went alright for about 2 minutes until... At this point, it seemed pretty obvious that the plan should be to keep Sonic at the start of Carnival Night Act 2 and complete Knuckles' playthrough, at this time keeping Sonic from straying too far into the level. We make some good progress until Knuckles gets a little toasty and loses a life. Oh boy, things are going downhill fast. We use Knuckles' glide again to finagle our way back to where we lost our last life. A little later, we reach this area where it's advised that you use the spin dash to get up these ramps. However, because doing a spin dash would also eject Sonic from the safe area he's currently kept in, I tried to use the glide to create enough momentum to get us up and past this moving platform, but...
Oh no!
Fortunately, we just passed the star post, so it didn't take too long to get back to where we'd died before. After messing around with the glide a little more, I decided to bite the bullet and just spin dash, making sure to halt the momentum as quickly as possible to keep Sonic in the same place, which thankfully worked. Knuckles grabs a wall, allowing us to move Sonic back to safety before we tackle the next platforming section. We take some BS damage along the way, but finally make it through Lava Reef Act 2 and into the awe-inspiring Hidden Palace Zone. But don't get too comfortable, as after the brisk glide to the teleporter, we make our final ascent to confront Egg Robo and, more importantly, Knuckles' final boss, everyone's favourite metal-plated doppelganger, Mecha Sonic. I f***ing love this boss fight. Of course, it was a little tricky fighting Mecha Sonic while keeping an eye on Sonic 3 and having to be very careful with button inputs. Nonetheless, Phase 1 goes down without an issue. But we all know this fight isn't over. In fact, it's only just beginning because Mecha reactivates and makes his way to the Master Emerald to initiate the Super Mecha Sonic boss fight. Apparently, Super Mecha is so cool that Sonic just couldn't handle the awesomeness and died out of pure jealousy. I'm just kidding, we timed out again. 8 hits later and Mecha was defeated. Yeah! To quote Bon Jovi, we are halfway there. The Knuckles portion is done. Now it was just time to finish Sonic 3 and complete this challenge. The second mecha goes down, we blast away with Sonic and quickly jump into, hopefully, the final Blue Sphere state. After getting lost a little and having a mild palm tree panic attack, we attain the 7th and final Chaos Emerald. Dropping back into Carnival Night Zone, I realised that thankfully we already had exactly 50 rings, so I didn't waste any time in channeling our inner Mecha Sonic and turning Super. Anyway, we're going to speed through the rest of this now because it's just a standard Sonic 3 playthrough with slightly delayed controls. We got through the rest of the Carnival Night, no problem. However, I did run out of rings just before the boss fight and ended up losing a life. Either way, he went down on the second attempt. Ice Cap was Ice Cap, but with the superior music, and Super Sonic shredded the mini-boss with ease. Same story with Ice Cap 2. Lots of fun gameplay with beautiful visuals, and much like Robotnik's Freezomatic, Super Sonic is broken. Final zone time. Not that one, launch base zone. We grab ourselves a secret ring under the start of Act 1, not that one, and waste no time in turning Super, allowing us to blitz through the majority of Act 1. And while we did take on the boss with normal Sonic, it went down nice and simple like your mum. In Launch Base 2, we turn Super again and blaze through it with little incident. The Robotnik fight goes as we expected, and we commit a little GTA by commandeering one of his Egomatic hovercrafts. Unfortunately, this cutscene lasts approximately 4 million years and completely depletes Sonic's rings before the penultimate boss fight can even begin. Luckily, this one is fairly easy to take down. However, the same cannot be said for Big Arms, the final boss, as we lose our bubble shield at the first opportunity and get a spike up the ass to bring us down to 6 lives. Damn it. Okay, take 2. Beat Robotnik in Launch Base? Check. Wait another 4 million years? Check. Take down the penultimate boss? Check. Get caught by Big Arms with no rings like a total amateur and lose another life? Check. Wait, what? Not to worry, we repeat all the previous steps and finally defeat Big Arms to send the Death Egg crashing down, and also to complete this challenge. Oh hell yeah! And with that, I can confirm that I was able to play through Sonic 3 and Sonic & Knuckles at the same time and beat them both on the same run. This one was really fun. Probably the most fun I've had with the 2 games at the same time challenge. There were so many mini challenges in this that I couldn't even count. Glide only sections, no jump moments, no spin dash sections, multi-game boss rushes, multi-game special stage rushes, and also like these mini challenges are changing from minute to minute. And what I love the most about it is that no 2 playthroughs will ever be the same. Like there'll be different situations and momentary challenges every time, requiring you to think about the ways to not only use each character's moveset, but the level themselves in a different way. Anyway, I guess I should probably wrap this up, as I imagine this video is probably getting quite long. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Until next time, thank you for watching the video. I appreciate the support, and I will catch you later. And don't forget to keep it twisted. Don't know if that works as a catchphrase. We'll keep it for now. Keep it twisted. All the best. See ya.